There we go. A full squad. Full squad up. Let's do this. Message me on War Thunder. I will if you want me to. Get my Japan F-16s. Yeah. I like the F-16s. I didn't, I grew up around Luke Air Force Base, and my grandpa was a reservist in the Air Force, so he would take me out there all the time. And, because of course I was interested in airplanes, so he would take me out there and we'd watch them take off, and that's where they train F-16s. So, oh my God, that was like the only plane I ever saw. I got so sick of seeing the flippin' F-16. And it almost wasn't until this game. There was a point in flight training where we learned about Colonel John Boyd, Johnboyd. Look him up. He pretty much invented air-to-air combat. They say he wrote The Art of War on air combat, came up with the OODA loop that I talk about all the time. If you guys want to learn about air combat and you're interested in dogfighting and stuff like that, John Boyd. I've been asked who is one of my favorite pilots. John Boyd. Colonel John Boyd. Top Gun, I'll hit the brakes and fly right by. He invented that. He'd take the F-100 up and go up with a student, and he'd make a bet with them, whatever. He'd let them lay the terms, and he'd say, I'll beat you in less than a minute. 60 seconds. And that's what he'd do. He'd get up there, they'd merge, get in the tail, he'd hit the brake. Done. Imagine doing that when it was a new maneuver and people truly didn't expect you to hit the brakes like that. He came up with that shit. I keep rolling over. My other favorite is Robin Olds. A Navy pilot, if I'm not mistaken. I always forget if he's a Navy or Marine Corps. But Robin Olds was the guy that ran the mission in Vietnam where they went up as pretending like they were 105s, but they were all in F4s, and they ended up just decimating the Vietnam Air Force that day. But he is one of the rare guys that I have to, Bolo. That's it. And double check my facts on this. I'm not 100% sure, but he was an ace. I can't remember if he was a double ace. I think he was an ace. The reason he's my favorite is because he did it in World War II, Korea, and fucking Vietnam. So he went from props, kicking ass, and being an ace in props, and then completely relearning in jets at an old age. He was like 50-something, goes over to Vietnam, and becomes an ace again. That's some legendary shit, and not a lot of people know who he even is. And that blows. I mean, a lot of people do. He is a famous pilot, but yeah, people ask. Those are my top two. One of my other favorites, of course, the guy from World War II, the Marianas turkey shoot. Guy goes up and wipes out 6 dudes in one flight. Are you kidding? Shit. That's insane. I mean, think about that. Going up in these real shit and having to think how hard it is to shoot these guns in this game. Imagine actually pulling the G's and feeling the sweat and the heat and the pressures and your emotions, and now you have to kill this person, and you have to be dead on with your aim, and you've only got 150 rounds. That's why I say when we go up in some of these planes, like the MiG-21, it's got 60 rounds. Could you imagine being in that cockpit and you've got 60 bullets? 60. Go win a war, son. 60 bullets. Fuck that. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, John Boyd, guys, go look that book up. He wrote I think it's just called John Boyd. Excellent. Very good. And what reminded me of him is the F-16. He was one of the original designers for the F-16. He came up with that energy maneuverability concept. All this whole game is based on is all the theories and stuff that he came up with. John Boyd. Energy, maneuverability, OODA loop, air art of war, all of it. Amazing. And he too did it through multiple generations. I want to say he was World War II, came into the jet era. He was a little older, I think, than Robin Olds is, but yeah, amazing, amazing. You just don't accomplish that kind of stuff in this, field anymore. You don't get into dogfights like that. That's why it's guys who play this game and have 10,000 air battles. That's why I say, yeah, you can probably go toe to toe with a lot of real pilots because they don't get that kind of experience anymore. You don't even really get the training. Very few get a lot of that training because it's so expensive. And these aircraft require a lot of maintenance and, they're not always, you expect to be able to go to fly, but you go out there to fly and now something's broken and you can't go up. So things happen all the time. Weather prevents a lot of stuff. So yeah, it's crazy. One of the most influential pilots is the humble, smart. Exactly. A lot of them were, yeah, exactly. That's why I like those guys a lot. There's a cockiness, but it's not a power-hungry cockiness that a lot of pilots end up with. Because you're by yourself a lot. You're depending on yourself a lot, especially jet pilots. And when you do that a lot, day in and day out, and you're always having to beef yourself up, I can do this. I'm not going to kill myself today, at Mach 2. Yeah, you tend to get a little over cocky. It's very common with pilots in general, jet pilots. And it's very easy. Humans are very susceptible to that. Yeah, like I say, he did have a hell of a stash, didn't he? Olds is a man, dude. He was a man. Straight refused the desk. No desk for me. Although I think he did end up flying a desk for a little while. He was an amazing, amazing dude. If anybody has never heard of either one of those two, they are definitely worth a Google. Chase him, chase him, chase him. I probably locked him up too soon. Yep, I locked him up too soon. Yeah, this really sucks not being able to hear my game. Both of them just disappear. Oh. And you got nobody to love. There's no way I'm gonna give up. Is there anyone out there? Cause it's getting harder and harder to breathe. I gotta get some point. Ah, shit. He was just waiting on me to do that. Damn it. I think I figured out what I've been doing wrong. Is there anyone out there? Cause it's getting harder and harder to breathe. I gotta change headphones real quick, guys. Give me just a second. So I got 3.5 hours out of these. And we're back. All right. These last forever. They're just not as comfortable. And honestly, Bose, definitely a good budget in-ear. Music sounds so good on those Bose. Yeah, it just sounds flat now. For as pricey as these headphones are, you're paying for the connectivity. I can connect these to the console. I can connect these to the computer. I can connect these to the mixer. I can connect these to the phone. And I can connect to 2 of them at once. Like, these are what I do squad battles on. I connect one to the PlayStation, and then I Bluetooth to Discord. And for whatever reason, I can't do that when I stream. I tried doing that when I stream, and I still lose my mic. I think there's a driver or something that's missing in my computer. Yeah, I've been in quite a few, like, 1v4s today, too, to defend myself a little bit. That's kind of my fault, though, as well. In my short years. And I've been slow. I'm slow. I haven't been as quick as far as, like, getting my lock, getting the missile fired, just off a little bit. I was notching AMRAM and got, I have been struck a lot by IR missiles that I'm not getting warning from. Mid to right, flanked, ended up in the furball. Yeah, it's tough out there. It's tough sledding with this event going on. I won't cry. I won't scream. All right, this is sim map. Yep. I'm gonna sippy sip. Sip, 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 sip that gas. Sip that gas. Yo! It's time to bite the tower. I want to fly the Mirage, but I feel so I don't know, held back, I guess, a little bit because I've only got those 3 missiles, and I'm trying to be so careful with each shot that I end up being too careful. I need to settle in a little bit too here. Hold on. Hyperdrive, engage. Yes, you can sit up here. As soon as I put my feet out, oh, Ollie hops up here. All right. Look at that. Oh, my goodness.